Do you want to move your life forward in the most positive way using astrology? Then let's talk about the astrological patterns for May 2021. The big news is that Mercury enters Gemini on May 4th, and it begins a long journey in that sign because of a retrograde. It's going to go retrograde towards the end of May, but it's going to stay in that sign until July 12th, and that's a long period for us to receive the beautiful energy of Mercury in Gemini. It's beautiful because Mercury rules that sign. It has a lot of strength, but it focuses the energy in our intellect and our thinking and our communication. So we're going to need to be mindful of our nervous system, number one, because those air signs are very much linked with the nervous system. We're going to need to be mindful that we don't overthink. In other words, we don't go into analysis paralysis or think something to death. We need to take action at the appropriate time. But the positive of this transit is that we may feel a special sort of sparkling energy in our intellect, in our thinking, in epiphanies, new ideas. Maybe you write something, in your ability to communicate your feelings, your problem solving. That's the beautiful part of Mercury in Gemini. And sometimes we just like to chatter, talk and talk and talk. That need to communicate is so strong. So let me also add that on May 9th, Venus enters Gemini. Venus and Mercury will travel together in the same sign, and again, super enhancing all of that communicative energy. Mercury Retrograde begins on May 29th, and it will remain so until June 22nd. During that time, we have a special productivity offered to us. Please, if you have any fear, if you've had any embedded negativity about Mercury Retrograde, I suggest you just let it go. What is so important is that you stay with the flow, you remain flexible. Anytime you need an answer, it's going to show up exactly when you need it. And Gemini is super flexible to begin with, so it shouldn't be that difficult. But release any negative ideas that you have about what Mercury retrograde means. You do not have to manifest that. So again, Venus and Mercury traveling together for most of the month of May. It's going to funnel a lot of energy into your intellect and your thinking and your communication. We have a special period mid-month when we have the new moon in Taurus. It's actually on May 11th, and that's Sun and Moon conjunct in Taurus, which offers us a potent moment of understanding the now and stillness. That is so powerful spiritually when you really get that. And I'm going to talk more about that in my new moon video, and I'll share some techniques for how you can access this. And that's going to be important during this highly stimulated intellectual time in the month with Mercury and Venus in Gemini, so that new moon in Taurus offers us a very calming moment. The other notable change we have in May is that Jupiter enters Pisces. It's just going to tiptoe into the sign for a few months. It's going to retrograde back into Aquarius later in the summer. But as it enters Pisces, it's really powerful because Jupiter is the classical ruler of that sign. It does this on May 13th. That adds even more flexibility to our movement, our thoughts, our flow, because it's a mutable sign, just like Gemini is a mutable sign. So we're going to have a lot of that capacity to step into flow. Isn't that wonderful? Then on May 26th, we have a full moon in Sagittarius, but this is an eclipse. This one is really important because it highlights all that long Mercury and Gemini transit wants to accomplish. This full moon eclipse will be the Sun in Gemini with Mercury and Venus still in that same sign opposite the moon in Sagittarius. So this is a very productive time to be digging up your belief systems, to be communicating what's in your heart, to be solving problems, to be creative intellectually. It can be delightful. It can be a time when you are really communicating with friends maybe that you haven't talked to in a long time, or speaking from your heart with a special creativity. It's really beautiful. So to summarize the astrological patterns for May, just remember we have that strong Gemini focus with Mercury and Venus in that sign, and Mercury getting ready to go retrograde at the end of the month. And that highlights energy on our intellect and our thinking and our communication. May 11th, we have this very special new moon in Taurus, which is offering us the ability to tap into some peaceful stillness. Watch my new moon for some techniques that you can engage at that point. We have Jupiter entering Pisces, just tiptoeing into the sign for a few months, but that opens the door to such beautiful flow and forgiveness and faith and compassion, but also flexibility. And then at the end of the month, we have that wonderful eclipse. It's a full moon eclipse on May 26th in Sagittarius, but all of that Gemini energy, Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Gemini, will be highlighted. So be mindful of your thinking this month. You know I consistently say the self-fulfilling prophecy is real. Be mindful what you tell yourself because you get to be right. May offers us an amazing opportunity to clarify our thinking and to engage higher communication skills. Enjoy. Thank you. I'm Kathy Rose.